Here's the fast, no-fluff timeline of what happened in Venezuela and why it still matters. 1958. Venezuela kicks out a dictator and sets up a democracy under the Punto Fijo Pact. Oil money flows. The middle class grows. For a while, it looks like a Latin American success story. 1970s. Oil booms. The state grows. Corruption creeps in. The economy gets hooked on one product: crude. When oil dips, everything wobbles. 1989. The Caracazo. Austerity hikes prices. Protests explode. Hundreds are killed. Trust in the old parties collapses. 1992. A young paratrooper named Hugo Chavez tries a coup. It fails, but his por ahora, for now, turns him into a folk hero. 1998. Chavez wins the presidency, promises a Bolivarian revolution. He rewrites the Constitution and centralizes power, and spends big on social programs funded by high oil prices. Poverty drops. His base is loyal. 2002. A brief coup removes Chavez. Mass mobilization and loyalists bring him back in days. The opposition and government harden into enemies. 2002-2003. A massive oil strike cripples PDVSA. Chavez purges it. Production never fully recovers. Mid-2000s. With $100 oil, the state nationalizes industries and expands subsidies. But imports replace local production, and the economy becomes even more oil-dependent. 2013, Chavez dies. Nicolas Maduro takes over after a close election. 2014-2016, oil prices crash. Currency controls and money printing help spark one of the worst hyperinflations in modern history. Shelves empty, services crumble. 2015, the opposition wins the National Assembly. A tense institutional standoff begins. 2017, the government creates a parallel constituent assembly, sidelining the opposition-led legislature. Protests turn deadly. 2018, Maduro claims re-election in a vote widely criticized as unfair. Sanctions tighten, millions flee. The Venezuelan exodus becomes one of the largest in the world. 2019, opposition leader Juan Guaido claims the interim presidency, recognized by the U.S. and others. A failed uprising follows. The government keeps control of the security forces and state. 2020-2022, the government consolidates power. Some sanctions relief is discussed around negotiations. The economy dollarizes informally. Hyperinflation cools, but poverty and services remain dire. 2023, the opposition holds a primary. Maria Corina Machado wins but is barred from office. Talks circle around conditions for a competitive vote. 2024, the opposition rallies around a substitute candidate, Edmundo González Urrutia. The presidential election becomes a flashpoint. Results and fairness are fiercely disputed, with reports of arrests, censorship, and protests. International reactions are split. Negotiations stall on sanctions and recognition. What does it add up to? A petrostate that rode an oil boom, then crashed when prices and production fell. Institutions hollowed out by polarization and power centralization. A massive humanitarian and migration crisis reshaping the region. As of late 2024, Venezuela's political future hangs on negotiations, pressure from neighbors, and whether a credible electoral path can reopen. The human story, families leaving, remittances sustaining those who stay, continues. If you want the simplest mental model, oil dependence plus broken institutions equals fragility. Fixing it means restoring the rulebook, independent courts, real elections, and rebuilding an economy that makes more than oil. That's the arc. If you want, I can map out the key players and what might unlock a real transition next.